Hey everyone, welcome to another Pioneer video here on Magic Arena. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and my coffee account is linked in the description of the video. So if you're able to support the channel that way, then it is greatly appreciated. So today we are running some Mono Green Ugin ramp. So this is a deck that I meant to play while Tarkir was kind of the newest set in the format, but never got round to, just because there were other decks to play. So we're going to make up for that today as we move towards the end of kind of Final Fantasy era and towards Edge of Eternities. Most of the spoilers for that set are out now, so it'll be interesting to see what impact that has on the format in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, so yeah, this Ugin deck is mono green, primarily colourless. It runs 12 copies of Ugin, so we got all three of the Ugin Planeswalkers which are legal in Pioneer. So 6 mana for Ugin the Ineffable, 7 mana for Ugin Eye of the Storms, and 8 mana for Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Obviously they get steadily more powerful the higher up the mana cost you go in terms of their immediate impact on the board. I think Eye of the Storms is probably the most powerful one relative to its mana cost, but obviously the Spirit Dragon can come down and just wipe the board. So yeah, essentially the idea of the deck is just ramping up into playing those Planeswalkers. So the 6 mana one discounts all of our future colourless spells, so makes the potential 7 and 8 mana spells cheaper. Also allows us to more reliably trigger 7 mana Ugin's passive ability by making our other colourless spells cheaper. So yeah, they do interact quite nicely with each other. Obviously they're all colourless. And we do have one copy of Cityscape Leveler up the top of our curve as well. So it's a very high impact top end of the curve, but quite expensive. So there will be times when we need to think quite carefully about whether we need to mulligan our hands if they've got too many of these cards in our opening hand. And then our ramp is the Iron Crag, Hedron Archive, Cultivate, the Mightstone, and the Weakstone is kind of ramp. It's not for any of our Planeswalkers, but it can play Cityscape Leveler. Bloomvine Regent, which is not only a good source of life gain in its 5 mana version, potentially stabilizing the board, but also 3 mana Omen that lets us basically cultivate again. It's got Cultivate basically as its ability for basic forests, which in this deck is functionally the same thing. Glimpse the Core as well, which is a very efficient 2 mana. Search your library for a forest and ramp once. So yeah, and then we've got a couple of cards which are just about holding off the opponent in the early game. So the Mightstone and the Weakstone does that to a certain extent. But the Filigree Silex and Calm Silex are early plays which can potentially wipe the board and just keep the opponent's board under control while we build up to our big spells. In terms of the mana base, so it seems a little counterintuitive that we are only running, I think it's 20... Yeah, it's 24 lands, which you might expect in a ramp deck to be slightly more than that, but so many of these cards just go and get more lands out of our library that I think 24 is about fine. Obviously a lot of basic forests given the Cultivate and the Bloomvine Regent, but some colourless lands as well. Mishra's Foundry, Fountain Port, which is a good value card, Sunken Citadel, which helps activate land abilities more reliably, and a Boseiju as well, a couple of Lair of the Hydra. So yeah, good, decent mana mix, which is pretty easy to make work. Then in terms of the sideboard, Paw Patch Formation is just a good early removal spell, dealing with a lot of the more annoying cards in the format, creatures with flying, enchantments. Ratchet Bomb, just another mass removal spell. This one particularly good against mono red and token decks. Stone Brain, a Scalpel card. Unlicensed Hearse as Graveyard Hate. Scrap Shooter as an early-ish play that can also destroy an annoying artifact or enchantment. Does have the cost of giving the opponent an additional card, but most of the time that is worth it if the opponent has a particularly difficult artifact or enchantment that we need to get rid of. Cityscape Leveler, another copy of that, and then one copy of Emrakul, the Promised End as well, which, although it's 13 mana, it isn't actually 13 mana, and again, if we can ramp up to that, usually casting that will end the game. So yeah, Mono Green Ugin, Mono Green Ramp. You know I'm a big fan of Ugin, Eye of the Storms. So let's see if all of the Ugin as a deck type can do any work at all in this format. So yeah, that's the deck. Let's take it onto the ladder. Yep, this will have to do. It's a little light on land. Let's glimpse the core, I think, first. Because next turn we can Hedron Archive into Iron Crag. Okay, the opponent's playing an Angels deck, which would be an interesting one. Ooh, Skyclave Apparition is annoying. Okay, let's glimpse the core again. They kind of knew what they were doing there. And they've got Collected Company, haven't they? Okay, well, let's make them pull the trigger. That's not that great.
Power belongs to the patient. I will put an end. Energy for your efforts.
So
I am the master of this world.
turn off the source of their life gain for now. Okay, Skyclave Apparition cannot hit Ugin, which is somewhat of a boon.
You fight without purpose. Open your mind to possibility.
Cool. Okay.
Knowledge is a virtue.
So won that first game relatively easily. Just by being able to be quicker than them. So I definitely want Paw Patch formation in this matchup. Do I want Ratchet Bomb as well? Might be a little too slow on the draw. Karn Silex is probably just better. I will take out probably a couple of Ugin the Ineffables. One Bloomvine Regent on the draw. Well, actually, let's just trim a Cultivate. Bloomvine Regent is strictly better in this game, in this deck. Yep, Karn Silex is quite good here. Whether it's quick enough is another question. Glimpse the core. I've seen the core. I was not impressed. Another Collected Company, huh? No? Not Collected Company. Ooh, that's aggressive. Does that mean they have another one? I mean, I'm going to take the risk, because I'd be mad not to. Okay, in which case I'll play the Iron Crag. Pop the Silex. So yeah, this is not the quickest I've ever been, but it seems to be working okay at the moment. If I draw another land next turn, I have the Spirit Dragon available to me, potentially. Okay, so I could Ugin the Ineffable. I could Might Stone and Weak Stone. I've got 7 mana. I think what I'm tempted to do here is just play Might Stone and Weak Stone. Drawing 2 cards. Okay. Kill Redane. Not drawing a land there is, like, genuinely abysmal. Okay, that'll do it. So, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. -2. Okay, that's a good follow-up. Fortunately, it's sorcery speed, so we'll be able to kill everything they play now. They'll gain a lot of life, though. That's a frankly unreasonable amount of life. So yeah, let's fire this off again for 3. Play Ugin the Ineffable. Follow it up with a Hedron Archive. Glimpse the core again. It's going to be quite a slow process winning this game. Okay, well, let's start by bop and bop. I'll play Bloomvine Regent, gain some life. Then I think I'll pop the Hedron Archive at the end of their turn. Cool. Okay. Good first win there. So yeah, the kind of matchups where we can just wipe the board with the Spirit Dragon and getting to do it twice in 2 turns is pretty spicy. Okay, so this will either be Phoenix or Lotus Field. I think until we know, let's just stick to our original game plan. Could be Izzet Prowess, I suppose. That is a thing that people play now. Corey Steelcutter means it's probably Phoenix. And makes me want to play the Filigree Silex, I think. Start building up to blowing up Steelcutter, which will take a few turns. There. Sadly, it might be too many turns. That's just what you never want to see. You just never want to see Steelcutter into Steelcutter. You just know you're in for a bad time when that happens. So we'll charge up the Filigree Silex. I think we're going to have to play Bloomvine Regent as a creature here, just for the life gain and the blocker. Well, I mean, on the plus side, I'll be able to blow all of this up. Which is pretty nice. But it will have infinite monks, which is not ideal. And 2 phoenixes in the graveyard is also not ideal. It's not ideal on a number of levels, to be honest. The soul situation is just far from ideal. Okay, let's pop the Silex. Play Hedron Archive. Yeah, I don't think I can attack with the Regent, unfortunately. I basically just need to draw Ugin the Spirit Dragon here. Ooh, Lightning Axe is bad news. Okay. Oh, they didn't pick it up, though. I'm super dead anyway, aren't I? Let's be honest. Yeah, 2 Steel Cutters is a bit too much for us to manage, I think. So, I want Unlicensed Hearse. I want the Stone Brain, and I want Scrap Shooter. I think destroying stuff is bad. Let's take Ugin the Ineffable out. Same with Khan's Silex. You just trim the 2 Cultivates as well. Yep. I think this deck has a very low floor and a very high ceiling. Like it seems absolutely heinous against we'll put back the Spirit Dragon here against anything that is any kind of combo deck, just because like I'm not really doing anything until turn whatever, so. Hopefully they might just play like an Artist Talent or something. Or maybe just a Steel Cutter. Maybe do what they did last time. Ugh. Don't like that. That's bad news for everyone. But specifically me. Yeah, okay. Well, at least I can blow that up with Scrap Shooter. Yeah, and I can do both here. So I'll play the Iron Crag. I will have to gift them a card, but I think it's probably worth it. A Corey Steel Cutter. How unusual. Okay, let's Hedron Archive into Bloomvine Regent and just go ham. And now I think we're just relying on the Eye of the Storms to get it done for us. Which, you know, it'd be great if you could, pal. Croft's eidetic memory, huh? Okay. I assume they... Yeah, I was going to say, I assume they don't move the counter here. Okay. Let's vanish the steel cutter.
My fools have sown discord.
Now, am I getting... I think I'm just bopping profts here.
One step in the stratagem.
Then we'll see if we can protect Ugin. So probably not phoenixing this turn. And if they try, I'll be having very stern words with them. Okay, they're going to treasure cruise instead. That's fun. I mean, maybe I could have stopped them here, but... Okay, we'll sack our... We'll lose our scrap shooter to keep Ugin alive.
Waste your strength.
Okay, the Iron Crag's pretty good. So I think let's pop Hedron Archive for 2 cards, see what we draw. Okay, now that is very spicy. So I definitely want mana here. So
The essence of this
that's Might Stone and the Weak Stone. Exiling Artist Talent.
power
We'll
belongs
draw
to
2
the
cards. Play a land. Then we'll play another Unlicensed Hearse. Exiling that. Then another Iron Crag.
knowledge.
Exiling that.
Fate flows as easily.
And a Glimpse the Core. Let's thin our deck slightly. Okay, well that was a reasonable turn. Opponent does have a full group of cards, though. Another steel cutter. I mean, I admire their commitment to just constantly having the answer to everything that I'm doing.
Such disharmony is disappointing.
I may as well chomp on my own graveyard. Okay. Well, let's fire up Lair of the Hydra here for 11. Interesting, okay. Okay, well that gives me targets for... Oh no, they're just playing Picklock Praxter. Okay. Okay. So presumably they have some form of removal here. Okay, right. So, Scrap Shooter can kill the Corey Steel Cutter. And there was no stick there, was there? Okay. So... This can crew one hearse. I don't think I can quite do them enough damage, but... It's got to be worth a try. So yeah, let's fire up this assembly worker. This one as well. And this can become just a 1/1. We'll turn this into a 2/2 to fire up the other hearse. Attack with both of these. I think I kind of have to at this point. I'm kind of all in. Okay, well, we're still alive. Okay, we're not still alive. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The opponent just drew incredibly well there. Can't be helped. Yep, this seems fine. Karn Silex is a potential anti-aggro card. Bloomvine Regent for some ramp. It's all good. Not Phoenix again. Does get somewhat tiring. Okay, well, I want Karn Silex here. Okay. Well, I'm not going to hurry if you're not. I'll just play the Hedron Archive. Okay, they're land hunting and they've missed. Okay, well that's... Yeah, okay. And they didn't even really see what I was doing there, so that's pretty good. So Hearse in, Paw Patch Formation in, Scrap Shooter in, Filigree Silex out, Karn Silex can stay in, Cultivate can go, Ugin the Ineffable can go. I think I will leave Karn Silex in this time. That did seem quite good there. Is the Might Stone and the Weak Stone doing us much good? Probably not. Take that out. Okay. We do at least know what we're up against. Ugh. I don't love it. Don't love it one bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get rid of... yeah, I think we're just maximum plan A here. Okay, Eidetic Memory with no creature straight away is not terrible news. And actually, another Glimpse the Core means I could potentially play Bloomvine Regent as a creature, which will help stabilise the board. But let's see. Let's see what we draw next turn. I don't love them having Spell Pierce, to be honest. Beseiju, huh? Yeah, I think this is a Bloomvine Regent turn. Okay, Cruise is going into their hand here. No, it isn't. Just another Picklock Prankster. I suppose they can just get Cruise later. What's going on here? This is all very confusing. So, I don't... how much mana have I got? 7. Not quite enough to fight through a Spell Pierce, so I'm just going to pass the turn. Okay. No, go on. I'm sure. This is interesting what my opponent's doing here. They do have Treasure Cruise now. destroy Prof's eidetic memory. Straight to attacks, huh? Well, that's good news. Now I do need another land. Land? That's not a land. Okay. So I've got 8 mana, so I'm just going to use to play the Iron Crag this turn. So you go. I suppose I get a fish out of it. They're being very lax with their life total. They got another treasure cruise, have they? Yep. Yeah, I don't love having to play Phoenix twice. Land? Okay, that's land. Have they still got it on the bottom? Okay.
My interventions require.
You do you, I suppose.
So be it. Power belongs to the patient. Insight.
Now, Ugin into Ugin is pretty good because you get the double Ugin trigger. It's pretty spicy. They do have Hall of the Storm Giants, which is annoying. I mean, so is Corey Steelcutter, let's be honest. It's all very annoying. Interesting that they chose to do that rather than... Ah, that makes sense. But they cannot bring back their Phoenix, which is pretty good news for me. And also giving me the ability to play another colourless spell is pretty spicy, so play the Iron Crag. Exile the Corey Steelcutter. That makes sense. Oof. Okay. We'll probably keep it as a relatively shorter video here, just because I think this deck is a little on the janky side. Then we'll open a pack. Yeah. Final Fantasy rares, unplayable rares all over the shop. So yeah, I think, as I say, this deck has a very high ceiling and a very low floor. Like, combo decks, I did a couple of test videos with this before I played it, just because it's a little bit of a fiddly one, and like, it just folds so hard to Lotus Field and stuff like that, because you're just not doing anything. Like, your Ugins have nothing to target. So yeah, combo decks are definitely a problem for this, and you might want to consider, I suppose, sideboard having a like Damping Sphere or something in the sideboard as a kind of catch-all for some of that stuff. Now the Stonebreak can do a little bit of that, but maybe Damping Sphere is kind of strictly better than something like Ratchet Bomb. So yeah, that's probably something to consider as a sideboard option if you're looking to play this. Obviously, it's very intense on the wild cards. Yeah, bit of a mixed picture, but a fun deck to play, and you know I do love a good Ugin. So yeah, that is the deck. Deck list in the description as usual. You can see what we've been playing here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and contribute to the Ko-fi account if you can. Do appreciate it, and yeah, I'll see you next time.